Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into how one single phrase, class status, could completely flip a child's world upside down during China's Cultural Revolution. We're going to see, through one girl's very personal story, how a family's past could pretty much erase a person's future in the blink of an eye.
So, this question from a young girl named Jili is really the core of what we're talking about today. It's a question about identity, about confusion, and, well, what happens when your whole world just gets turned inside out? So, where does this all start? Well, it's not with some big, dramatic accusation. It's actually with this moment of just deep confusion and hurt. A rejection that changes absolutely everything for a really promising young student.
Okay, so I want you to picture this. You're at the top of your class, a leader everyone looks up to. Geely, she totally expected to be chosen for the red Successors. I mean, it was a huge honor for the best students. But instead, her own classmates shut her out. And the worst part? She had absolutely no idea why.
And then, the reason finally comes out from her dad. And wow, it's a bombshell. Her rejection had nothing to do with her grades, her leadership, or anything she had ever done. Nope. It was all about something she couldn't control, something she inherited, her family's past. So, in this quiet, kind of tense moment, Geely's dad starts to explain this family history, a history that has all of a sudden become super dangerous in this new political world. And this right here, this is the concept that just flipped Geely's world on its head: class status. See, it wasn't about how much money you had now or what your job was. It was this permanent political label slapped on your family based on what they were before the 1949 revolution. And you can really see the irony of it all in their family story. I mean, yeah, they were once these wealthy landlords, right? But that was all gone by the time Julie's dad was even a kid. He built a whole new life for himself, became a vice principal. But that shadow of his own father, the landlord, it never really went away.
What's crazy is that her father doesn't even try to fight the official line. He basically says, yeah, being a landlord is a crime, even though his own dad was sick in bed and didn't even handle the money. It just shows you the impossible spot he was in.
But his main goal here, you can tell, is to protect his daughter. He's trying so hard to draw this line, to say, look, that political label, that's not you. It's not your fault.
And you know, at first, Geely really grabs onto that idea. She's like, okay, it's not my fault. She decides she's going to prove everyone wrong with her own hard work, that her good grades could somehow wash away this stain on her family's name. But you know how it goes. This abstract idea, it's about to get very, very real. It turns her school, a place she loved, into a total political battlefield. And I mean, it happens almost overnight. The kids who got picked, including her own friends, suddenly they're strutting around with these red armbands, barking orders. And just like that, Jilly's on the outside, looking in. And then comes the moment it all blows up. It starts with something so small. She uses a silly nickname for a friend, Pauper, something they'd probably said 100 times. But this time, her former friend Yen Lan just pounces on it. She twists this totally innocent kid comment into a political crime and ties it right back to Geely's bad family background. And there it is, right out in the open. Her old friend is basically saying that because of Julia's family, everything she does is suspicious. Her actions get judged differently. She's guilty before she even does anything, while everyone else gets a pass. And to back it all up, Yin Lan pulls out the ultimate trump card, a quote from Chairman Mao. Right then, you know this isn't just some schoolyard fight anymore. She's using the highest possible authority to say that Ji Li is fundamentally flawed, that her very thoughts are corrupt because of who her grandfather was. Which brings us right back to that desperate question swirling in Geely's head. Everything she was, a leader, a good friend, a role model, it's all being wiped away and replaced by this label that she has zero control over. This slide just lays it out so clearly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the reality of who Geely is. I mean, she helped this girl with math for years, carried another kid to school when he was hurt. And on the other side, you have this completely made-up political caricature they've painted of her. The two just don't match up at all. So later, it gets even worse. In the gym, they basically hold a struggle session. Her old friends, now her accusers, start grilling her. And they take perfectly normal parts of her life, like having a housekeeper, A woman who needed the job, by the way, and they twist it into proof that her family is just dripping with bourgeois guilt. And then they throw her own accomplishments back in her face. Being the student leader, the Da Duizheng, isn't something to be proud of anymore. Now it's a sign of the corrupt old days. The whole world has been flipped completely upside down. By this point, it's like her classmates can't even see her anymore. When they look at Geely, all they see is the ghost of a grandfather she never even knew. She's been boiled down to just one word, one label: landlord. So, after this just brutal attack from the people she thought were her friends, Geely is left totally alone, trying to make sense of how unfair this all is. And this is the simple, heartbreaking truth she's left with. In this new world, it doesn't matter what she does, how kind she is, or what her character is like. Nothing matters. She's being punished for the crime of being born into the wrong family. The whole thing doesn't even end with a resolution. There's no apology. Instead, Duhai just dismisses her with this chilling, vague threat. You'd better think seriously about your problems. He just leaves her hanging, totally isolated and terrified about what's coming next. And then, alone in the schoolyard, she sees this tiny, lonely wildflower. And in this really quiet act of defiance against all that cruelty, she decides she's going to take care of it. It's this beautiful, small moment of empathy that shows she's refusing to let them crush her humanity. You know, Jilly's story is it's such a powerful look at how fast an ideology can turn friends into enemies and just erase who a person is. And it really leaves us with this huge question, right? How do you define yourself when the world has already decided who you are, based on a past that isn't even yours?